part about being single, hands down, is that you do not have to introduce anybody to your parents. Have you guys introduced people you were dating to your parents? It's not about introducing people you love to one another, is it? No. It's about showing your partner why you're mean to them sometimes. It's about taking your sexual partner back to the scene of the crime. To say, see, the stories are true. Because you don't want your partner to like your parents. You want them to walk out of that night going, oh my God. Your parents are just, I know. I mean, seriously, babe, how did you ever? I don't know. Kind of seems like maybe people should cut me some slack when I'm being a bitch, though, huh? Kind of seems like maybe now that we have all the information, turns out I could be a lot crazier if I wanted. But I keep a lid on it pretty good, and I deserve to stop at Target on the way home. With no time limit. And I want a cart, not a basket. You have to be careful when you introduce people to your parents, though, because your parents don't always show up as your parents, do they? Mine never did. My parents undermined me every single time I brought someone home to meet them. I did everything right. I did the huddle up in the car before we went in, like, hey, remember what I told you? If those people in there, they're not your friends. Whatever they say to you, do not take that personally. It's not about you, it's about them. Do you want to write that on your hand in case you forget? No? You can look at my tattoo if you get scared. Let's do it. And then you go inside prepared for your parents to show their true colors. And your parents float downstairs. And they're just amazing all night. They're like fun, cool, laid back. Your dad's in an open Hawaiian shirt. Just a one-man conga line, topping off drinks, saying all kinds of progressive shit you've never heard him say. You want another beer? We should golf sometime. What are your pronouns again? And you gotta get back in the car later muttering like a conspiracy theorist. Like, well, that was not, and I was there, and I know it happened, and it was all right. And no one can tell me what didn't happen, and I know where it is. While your boyfriend buckles up like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Your parents are awesome. And you're like, oh, no, they are not. I don't know who those lizard people were. But they are not the ones who broke me. And the next time you see your parents, they're all smug, like, Jason really seemed to like us. You're like, I know what you're doing. Oh, maybe your therapist wants to meet us next, get our side of the story. I cannot wait till you're in the ground. All right, well, we'd like to be cremated. I will scatter your ashes where God can't find them. I will see you both at Easter. I used to be a really toxic girlfriend. I've worked on it a lot in therapy over the years. I was a nightmare in my 20s. I was dating a guy once in my 20s, and we were laying on the couch one night, and we weren't fighting, and I thought that was weird. So I turned to him, and I said, hey, babe, if you found out that we were cousins, would you break up with me? And he goes, yes. And I was like, whoa, fast. No follow-up questions. You're just out like that. He goes, it's illegal, Taylor. I'm like, so are mushrooms, and we did those. Now you're this law-abiding citizen just because we're cousins? He goes, you're so wrong about this. Ask anyone we know. So I texted the 3 happiest couples in my phone. And I said, hey, if you two found out you're cousins, you didn't know when you met, you haven't known this whole time you've been together, you have the same relationship you've always had, but whoops, you're cousins. Would you break up? And they all wrote back, do we have to tell anybody? And I showed him my phone and I said, that's what love looks like. Quick poll. If you found out your partner was your cousin, clap if you would break up with them. Okay. That's a lot of people. No, don't discuss. Fight in the car. Fight in the car. Okay, now, if you found out your partner was a robot, clap if you would break up with them. Oh, interesting. Bit of a drop-off over here. Some of us clap for cousin and not for robot. Okay, so we're going to abandon our family, but we'll keep fucking the toaster. Okay, well, that makes sense. Really good. That was not the feedback I kept getting from romantic partners, by the way. That's not what finally made me get help. Every guy I've ever dated has told me I have trust issues, which is something liars say when you're onto them. You have trust issues, babe. You have a hot coworker and a locked phone, so. I have trust issues, but I earned them, okay? I absolutely earned them. Like, I got cheated on in college. My college boyfriend was sleeping with sex workers behind my back, or prostitutes if you're old and don't know that word's not okay to use anymore. Sometimes older crowd members can get confused because they're like, what is a sex worker? Is that what my granddaughter does on Instagram? And you're like, no. She's just hot. That's a FabFitFun box. That's a different thing. Your granddaughter doesn't, that's not a job. That's not real. You can't say prostitute anymore. Calling a sex worker a prostitute is like calling a comedian a clown. You're not technically wrong, but you are a fucking asshole. So. But I told my therapist I got cheated on like this, and she didn't say what I wanted her to say, which was, poor baby sweetie, this session is free. Instead, she goes, well, you might be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I was like, oh. And she's like, no, it's a bad thing. And I was like, oh. Well, then could you say I have self-fulfilling prophecy? Is Selena Gomez a self-fulfilling prophecy? And I said, what does that mean? I'm a self-fulfilling prophecy. And she goes, well, sometimes we expect someone to treat us poorly, so we treat them like they're going to treat us poorly until they do. You thought someone was going to cheat on you, so you treated them like they were going to cheat on you until they did cheat on you. And then you were like, see? And I was like, oh, so I'm a witch. And she's like, ooh, so close, you're a bitch. You gotta get that me. I'm like, whatever, all I heard was Gryffindor. I am working on my trust issues. I was so much worse when I first started seeing my therapist. I told her, like, first session, I was like, the guy I'm dating keeps answering my phone calls, hey, beautiful? And she's like, so what's the problem? I was like, I mean, I don't know yet. But when I find out who beautiful is, she's like, do you think it might be you? I was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were here to work. I think I'm cute or whatever now, but I was an ugly kid with honest parents, and that shit stays in your bones, all right? If you were an ugly kid with honest parents, I don't care how attractive you grow up to be. At any point, if someone's like, you look really nice today, you're like, yeah, whatever, I know the goddamn truth. When I was 10, I said, Dad, am I pretty? And his response was, look. I'm not the best looking guy, right? No, but I wake up every morning and I try. I take a shower, I put on a nice suit, and I do okay. And then he went to work. And I became a comedian, I guess. That was his response to his 10-year-old daughter. Just like, you and me, potato face, these are the cards we were dealt. Get clean and match. That's all you can do. Don't sleep on wet hair. Can't do that. Maybe wear a hat sometimes. Cover up some of that head. I'm sorry, there's so much of it. I think I'm pretty. I have a big head. I know I do, because every guy I've ever dated has made a point to be like, I love your big head. That's my favorite thing guys do when they compliment the thing you hate most about yourself. They're like, I love your soft arms. You're like, okay. Yeah? I love your weird balls. How does it feel? How does it feel to be accepted? I'm a nightmare to date. Anything nice you do or say, I'm just like, whatever. I dated a guy once who told me that flirting with me was like punching water. And I was like, why? Because it's pointless or because you look stupid doing it? He's like, did you hear it? I'm like, I heard it that time. Yeah. And then he cheated on me. So, prophecy fulfilled. I can't help it. At the beginning of a relationship with a guy, I just assume anything nice he does is a move he pulls on everybody. And I'm not gonna fall for your choreography, sir. I'm like, oh, is this your move? You open the car door for me on the date? This is like your move? This is how you do it? That's cute. Bet that works a lot. Oh, is this your move? You go with me to my grandpa's funeral, hold an umbrella over my head in the rain? This is like your move? This is how you do it? Like, oops, don't get wet. Oops, I am. Whatever. This ain't my first rodeo. I used to have 2 grandpas. Oh, is this your move? You die next to me in a hospital bed at 86 years old, holding my hand for all eternity? This is like your move? This is how you get pussy? He's like, we've been together for 60 years. I'm like, you're a fuckboy, and I know it. Don't bury me with this guy. He's been dying with other people behind my back. I can't prove it. Check his phone when he uses the bedpan. The craziest thing that happened is my mom died of cancer. See? You almost forgot. And then my dad got remarried, and then our stepmom got cancer. She's fine. Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you twice. That's God talking to my dad. And as soon as our stepmom got it, me and my siblings were like, holy shit. Is Dad giving people cancer? We thought he was a carcinogen. We were like, don't microwave anything for him. I think that's how he's doing it. If he had taken down a second one, we would have put a warning on his Christian Mingle account. Like bare minimum. Just like, hey, chemicals in here have been known to cause cancer. Ride at your own risk. I feel like some people don't believe me that she's alive. She's completely fine, you guys. She's happy, healthy, great lady. We actually call my stepmom Mom because when my dad married her, nobody was using it. So we were like, yeah, be Mom. Who cares? Oh, I'm sorry. If your principal quit and you got a new principal, they wouldn't be like, this is Lisa. Like, let her be principal. There's an opening. Also, we were so young when it happened and my dad got remarried so fast. I think he was kind of hoping he could just like Indiana Jones, switch him out before anybody noticed. You know when you're a kid and your hamster dies and your parents don't want to explain death to you, so they just buy you a new one that looks the same and they're like, no, that's Connie. She just bites now. That's kind of what he did. But with moms. But I never used to talk about any of that. I never used to talk about my mom dying because I didn't want to make people uncomfortable. And also, like most of us with childhood trauma, should be pretty much everyone in here. If you're sitting here tonight going, I don't think I have any, I had great parents, I had a good childhood, and this comedy show, it's not that fun for me. Good. I hope this is the worst night of your whole life. Because it sounds like it's been smooth sailing. And you might need some perspective. But most of us did have some childhood trauma. And when you get to be an adult, you're like, whoo, made it. Never have to think about that again. Look at all my keys. The world's my oyster. And so you just start pushing all that dark stuff that happened to you as a kid down, 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 until you don't even think about it anymore. And that works for a long time. Until one day, you stub your toe really hard on a curb and you just start weeping uncontrollably in the street. And you're like, okay, this is about something else. I was keeping all my trauma in that toe. And then I jostled it and now it's everywhere. Go back in. And if you don't deal with that stuff, it's going to keep affecting you in ways you are not even conscious of. I got back into therapy. Anybody in therapy? Mostly women. That's the problem. It's very hard to stay in therapy. My old therapist told me that when I get close to people, I have a tendency to self-sabotage, and I thought that was bullshit, so I ghosted her. And then I finally went back because I finally dated enough people who all gave me the exact same feedback about my shitty personality. You know that romantic quota you hit where you're like, uh-oh, might be me. Oh, the reviews are in and they are unanimous. That's a bummer. So after a really bad breakup a few years ago, I finally took a long, hard look at myself and said, okay, Taylor, 5 out of 5 dudes all think that in fights, you behave like a raccoon trapped in a trash bag. So maybe it's time to get some Klonopin or a rabies shot. I am fully medicated now. Anybody else? Antidepressants? Medication? Yeah. Nice. What are we on? Shout it out. Zoloft, Lexapro. Ooh. Look at us. Gang's all here. Oh my God. I'm also on something. I would never say what. That's very personal. But no, I'm kidding. I'm on a few things. I am on Klonopin as needed for panic attacks. I'm so glad I have Klonopin now, because before I had medication for it, I would have panic attacks right when I had to be somewhere, which is the worst time to get them, because then you just have to pinch the panic attack off like a shit you don't have time to take. You know what I mean? When you're like, okay, I got 60% of that out of my system. I'm not done, but I gotta go to work. I will get to the other 40 later, or I'll finish in the big stall at lunch if no one's in there. I got put on something else for sleep because I have night terrors. There's no fun, casual way to say that. Wake up screaming. And these sleeping time pills I got are great. They don't stop the nightmares, but they do hold you down while they're happening. Which sounds bad, but before I'd wake up in the middle so afraid, and now I stay asleep until the nightmare's natural conclusion, which provides you with some closure. You're like, oh, he stabs me at the end. Okay, plot twist, M. Nightmare Shyamalan. My parents don't watch me do stand-up anymore. Don't worry. Don't worry, they're not interested. No Christian parents want to watch their daughter talk about depression and dick for an hour. It's not fun for them. My parents don't have a dark sense of humor, and I do, and I'm glad I do, because if you can laugh at the darkest stuff that's ever happened to you while it's still actively happening to you, sometimes that's what gets you through it. For example, here's a joke they will not like. Did you guys know that sometimes when you call a suicide hotline and the call drops, they do not call you back? Yeah, you think that'd be the time for star 69, but sometimes they just ring a bell in the cubicle like, lost another one, that's lunch. Some of you are tensing up like, did that really happen? Yeah, a few years ago, and it was fucking hilarious. I was on the floor of a DoubleTree hotel like, did this bitch just ghost me while I'm trying to ghost myself? That is, I mean, I've been left on red. I've never been left for dead. That's a new one. That is brutal. I wasn't even mad. For all I know, that's how they train those volunteers. Like, hey, some nights we get too many calls. Fridays are big for us. In those situations, you're just gonna have to use your best judgment, all right? Like, I usually wait for like a privileged white girl name, like a Chelsea, a Kelsey, a Taylor. Those are the salmon I throw back and hope they swim upstream on their own. Even if I was mad, what am I gonna do? Hop on Yelp? Like, 1 star, totally killed myself. You're gonna wish I killed myself after this review. I did that joke in Texas a few weeks ago, and there was a girl, white, my age, in the crowd who goes, and the wait times are ridiculous. And she's right, okay? I think if you were a frequent caller, there should be some sort of rewards program. You know, like when you show loyalty to an airline. Like, you should be able to do that with suicide hotlines where you call in and they're like, please enter your rewards number. Boop, 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 boop. Welcome back. Taylor. Thank you for your diamond medallion status. You are now third in line. Would you like to use an upgrade and kick someone else out? My parents are still very, very religious. I really appreciate you guys coming to this new hour of material because I know it's a lot of God stuff and a lot of gay stuff, and my agents are nervous. I think my whole team was a little nervous when I said I was going to do a tour called Save Me and talk about religion. I got a call from my publicist one day like, hey, I heard you're going to call the special prodigal daughter and you want to call the tour Save Me. I think that's great. Just making sure you're not taking any promo photos like hanging upside down from a cross, right? Anyway, so we got rid of those photos. But no, I did not do that. I did not do that. That was never the intention. I understand why they thought it was going to be an hour just bashing Christianity. Because if you watch all of my other specials, I usually take a few minutes to take a few shots at Christianity. And that's because I was working through a lot of stuff from my childhood. And also, I was really jealous that Christianity had worked for other people and not me. As a mentally ill person, it is devastating when someone just goes, yeah, I used to be sad too, and then I accepted Jesus into my heart, and now I'm all better. And you're like, oh, is that all you did? That's all you did? Oh, just said a little poem in the dark, and now you're worthy of love? That's great. I love that for you. Oh. It's like when someone goes, yeah, I just stopped drinking soda, lost 20 pounds, all my acne went away. And you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. I hope your plane falls out of the sky. The problem that I have with religion is it can be interpreted so many different ways, right? Like you can say to a room full of people, Jesus loves you no matter what. And a lot of those people will hear, Jesus loves me. But some of those people will hear, no matter what. And that's the problem, right? Religion can be used as either a weapon or a tool. And to be clear, if you are using religion as a weapon to control, manipulate, scare people, to make yourself feel superior to everyone else, fuck you. That's not what it's for. You are not using that correctly. You're using a vibrator as a back massager and we're all fucking laughing at you. Because if God does exist, he does not exist to make you feel better than other people. He exists to make you better for other people. And life is so fucking hard. Whatever makes you a better person for other people, that's what you should be doing. We do this weird thing where we forget that everybody's struggling. Everybody's just trying to get through it. And we judge each other's coping mechanisms. Like, oh, you're a quitter if you get on antidepressants. You're stupid if you believe in God. Bitch, I'm on mood stabilizers. You're on Jesus. We're all trying to get to dead with daddy. We're all trying to get there. It's fine. And there are a lot of people who are using religion correctly. People like my aunt and uncle, my grandparents, the people at this church. There are a lot of people who are using religion as a tool for community and connection and compassion and comfort. And when I was writing this hour, I was thinking about those people. And I was thinking about my family. All Gen Z, they're all queer, they're all in serious relationships, and they are all so disappointed in me every time I start dating another straight white guy. They're like, come on, Taylor, fuck the patriarchy. I'm like, you guys, I'm literally fucking the patriarchy. Do you know how hard it is to continue dating straight men when you are surrounded by 3 queer relationships up close? Queer relationships are the most beautiful, thoughtful, creative things I've ever seen in my life. My sister and her partner are in a romance novel. Every time I talk to them, I'm like, hey, I know you had a hard week at work. You doing okay? And she's like, yeah, I did. So to cheer me up, my partner got me my favorite snack in a limited edition flavor. They got me a little vial of sand from the beach we went to on our first date. And you know how I always wanted an easy bake oven growing up and never got it? They found one on eBay. I'm like, oh my God, are they cheating on you? She's like, what? No, they just listen to me when I talk and remember things I say. And I'm like, what? No, go through their phone. This shit stinks. Go through their phone, trust me. She's like, okay, how are you and your boyfriend doing, Taylor? I'm like, oh, we're good. My boyfriend bought me a hot dog because he wanted one, and I was there too. You had to be there. It was so romantic. He was like, what? Sorry, too, I guess. I don't mean to shit on straight guys. You're very sweet. I've dated a lot of you, but oh my God, you are so proud of yourselves for almost nothing in a relationship. It is impressive to watch. Honestly, a straight man will put a candle in his bathroom and be like, I changed my whole life for you. And you're like, you didn't even light it, man. It kind of smells like lavender if you get down real close. I'd trade this candle for a slice of empathy, if I'm being honest with you. Have you tried to explain the concept of empathy to a tall, handsome white guy? That is a delicate conversation. You're like, okay, imagine that you're me. But I'm not. Okay. Hard to argue. Touché. Imagine that you feel how I feel, but I don't. Okay. Imagine that you could feel how I feel. I never will. Okay. Imagine you're a basketball player. Okay.
What else? I like this game.
Fine. All right. So in this analogy, you're a basketball player. And you're a really great teammate. How about that? You love your team, you're loyal to your team, you do everything for your team, and your team is not noticing. Your team is not appreciating you for all you do, for the MVP that you are. And this week, your team forgot your birthday. Now, how does that make you feel? That sucks. Yes. Try and get a hot guy to empathize is like trying to get a woman to come. They're like, nobody move! We're so close. It's a car alarm. It's a car alarm. Stay focused, please. Work so hard. So anyway, I've been trying to figure out if I'm bisexual or if I just really like being called like a slut and a whore. And I'm like, oh my God. If you like being called a slut and a whore in bed, your parents loved you so much. Like, dirty talk is hot because it's shit you've never heard before. Ooh. If someone called me a whore in bed, I'd be like, excuse me? That's what my father calls me. That is a family name. Boundaries, sir. Look around. Is this sex or Thanksgiving? Read the room. I want to hear some shit in bed I've never heard. I want to hear like, hey, I set up a college fund for you. I think your arms look too thin. I really enjoyed your Netflix special. I have some daddy issues. I'm working on them. In therapy, not in my relationships, not anymore. I used to put my dad and my ex-boyfriends on the same group text and write in all caps, I don't feel pretty today. Whose fault do we think that is? Discuss. That worked so much better than it usually does. I'm worried about you guys. That one's usually for me. Are we all right? I really like you guys. You guys are great. He came out, he goes, thought he found a new angle, right? He comes out, he goes, you know, we always kind of rush through the Christmas story, don't we? Since we all know it so well. But if you ever really stop to think about what this must have been like for Mary, and all the women were like, oh, and all the men were like, no. Which one's Mary again? Oh, are you talking about the vessel? You talking about the hole we put the Lord in? You talking about the Jesus jar? You talking about the Christ cubby? You talking about the Savior sack? You talking about the prophet pocket? We could keep going, but we have to move on. But that's a fun game to play to come down from the cousin fight, if you want. That Mary POV sermon went over so well for him that he came out the next year all excited. Like last year we talked about what it must have been like for Mary to find out she was pregnant with Jesus. But have you ever stopped to think about what this must have been like for Joseph? And all the men were like, finally, representation. I also think whores are lying to me. Joseph was Mary's betrothed at the time. Again, I don't assume everybody knows all the Bible stories. You grew up in church, you're like, everybody's learning these. Nope, some kids were having childhoods on their bikes. Yeah. Is there anyone in here who never went to church, has never believed in God, never been religious at all? Wow, all in the back. That checks out. Well, you sound very at peace. You sound so relaxed, but how do you know right from wrong? How do you not kill people? Some Christians talk like that. My dad growing up was like, if I weren't a Christian, I'd be in jail. And I'm like, whoa, I'm 6. Let's do Goodnight Moon tomorrow instead of Dad's Dark Thoughts. Some Christians walk around like, yeah, if Sky Dad didn't have me on house arrest, there'd be some mud on my boots. And you're like, cool, let's only hang out in groups. But if you didn't grow up in church, you might not know a lot of Bible stories. You might not know any Bible stories. I won't put you on the spot, don't worry. I used to learn my lesson. One time I asked someone and they panicked and went, VeggieTales! I have to be honest, my career is going very well right now. This is the last night of the biggest tour I've ever done. I am filming my 3rd Netflix special tonight, and recently someone was using my name and photos on a dating app. It was me. I was doing it. Went through a breakup, got on a dating app. Why? Because my married friends told me to. If you're single, your married friends don't want you to be happy. They don't. They want you on those apps because the apps look fun, and they can't go on them. So they want to stand behind you like a kid at an arcade with no fucking quarters while you fight for your life out there. They're like, go left, go right, go left, go right. You're like, do you want to play? They're like, more than anything. But I have the highest score, so it wouldn't be fair. Your married friends don't want more married friends. Nobody wants more married friends. I'm sorry if you're married, and I know you're up front because 2-income household. Nobody wants more married friends, okay? Because your life updates are boring. I'm happy you're settled. Good for you. You know who has fun life updates? Your single friends, because we're out there in the trenches making mistakes named Trevor, usually. Have you asked your married friends what they did over the weekend? You're like, what'd you guys do this weekend? They're like, I know, just woke up next to my soulmate again. Then you ask your single friend, you're like, what'd you do this weekend? They're like, I woke up in a shallow grave. You're like, why are you proud of that? Did you have sex in a grave? They're like, why do you think we dug the grave? Do you guys have that one single friend who thinks she's really hot and fun, but she's actually just in constant danger all the time? That one girl, every time she tells you a dating story, you're like, oh my God, okay. No, we're not judging, but maybe just share your location with us indefinitely. I have one friend like that. Every week she tells me the scariest stories I've ever heard in my life. Just like, I had the hottest date Friday, Taylor. I'm making out with this guy at a bar, so sexy. Takes my hand, he's like, let me show you something. Pulls me back through the kitchen, into the back alley, pulls out his huge gun. Points it right at my face, like, give me your phone, your keys, and your wallet. I'm like, okay, kinky, I'll try anything once, right? He hits me in the head. I wake up 30 minutes later, alone in a puddle. I have to hitchhike home. Oh my God, I am such a Samantha. And they're like, okay, we think you got mugged, babe. We think... She's like, mugged? Oh my God, you're such a prude, Taylor. He's gonna call me. He has my phone. Seriously, you'll meet him. He took my breath away. We're like, no, he knocked the wind out of you. Your friends always say the dumbest shit when you go through a breakup, trying to be helpful, right? Like, well, why don't you just date yourself? Because you told me not to settle. What the fuck? I can do better than me. Why can't you just be single for a year? Why can't you go for a walk without headphones? Because you'll think about death the whole time. Exactly. When I was 8, I was like, the only people I know with dead moms are Disney princesses. So like, this sucks, but am I about to get hot? Then I hit puberty and I was like, oh no, I guess God just hates me right now. That's a bummer. That's a joke. God doesn't hate anybody, all right? Not anymore. But have you read the Old Testament? Holy shit. The Old Testament is my favorite Taylor Swift album. It is banger after banger. Just like, you don't believe in me? Snakes, look what you made me do. I'm a 20-something white woman. Obviously, I'm going to compare T Swift to the Lord, all right? She is the only God I still believe in, all right? I I don't see God revamping his old shit. And let's be honest, he probably should, because the people who own it now suck. It does grow you up very quickly, losing a parent that young. I mean, I saw a dead body when I was 8, which means I saw a dead body years before I saw a dick. And that is not the order this shit should go in, according to the American Girl Body Book. Although maybe it should be, because you know what's crazy? A dick, way more traumatizing than your dead mom. Oh my God, it's so much worse. I saw my mom, I was like, that lady used to make me snacks, now she's very still. I saw a dick for the first time, I was like, oh my God, who took Jabba the Hutt's eyes? You have done nothing for me. No, I didn't say Beetlejuice even one time. I haven't seen that many dicks, and I don't want to see any more. And it's nothing against men. I'm attracted to you for some reason. But I swear to God, every time you see a new dick, there's an adjustment period, isn't there? Just a real quick, like, and we're back in it. All right. I have stayed in relationships too long because I just wasn't ready to see a fresh one. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, literally or figuratively. I just didn't have it in me. Couldn't have it in me. And I don't care how many dicks you've seen. Every time you see a new dick, it feels like jumping into a cold pool. Just like, whoa, all right, let me just swim around, get used to this one. Okay, all right, this one's deeper than the last one, but that's okay. That's all right. This is why we take our arm floaties, you know, for moments like these. Just control your breathing. Hot girl summer, bitch. You can do it. I think of the genitalia options available, I think dicks seem friendlier, you know? They're up, they're happy to see you, they're wagging. I've never had sex. It's like a front tail, right? I'll Google it, it's fine. It's all speculation. I've never seen a vagina, not even my own, I'm a Christian. But from what I hear, it is very spooky down there. It's just a dark, spooky hole. Like, a hole? I'm sorry, what? Every time someone fingers me, I'm like, you are very trusting, sir. Because I don't even know where that goes. That might be where I keep the bipolar. That might be where it has been. Actually, if you see any, could you scrape it out? Could you? Just like a mental health pap smear? Can you just do? Don't do that. Like, you gotta hook your finger. Like when a baby's choking, are you familiar? If you do that, it'll push it in too far. It's too late. But if you hook your finger, you swipe it. That's how you get it out. I like doing that joke because it goes too far, but you do learn something that could save a life. I just love the idea of years from now, someone being like, if it weren't for that dick joke, my niece would not be here. I turned 30 2 weeks ago. And that means, thank you. And that means that I have spent the last 14 years of my life trying to get good at this, trying to get good at stand-up, trying to have the career that I am now fortunate enough to have. Thanks to all of you, honestly, yeah. And as grateful as I am, and as lucky as I am, it has really made me, this year especially, go, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna be good at this other stuff. I mean, I know I'm a good comedian. I don't know if I'm a good person. I don't know if I'm a good parent. I don't know if I'm a good partner. This hour of material that I'm doing right now, that's like, can I have it all? I don't even know. This is not a bit, DC. I am genuinely concerned. Because I know how hard it is to do this job and be in this business and have a family. I see how hard friends of mine work at it. I also see how little work people put into it. There are a lot of people in this business who are like, you can have kids and travel. They got FaceTime now, which feels like tying your dog up outside a coffee shop and going, I can see him through the window. He's okay. And I still have a lot of childhood shit that I'm working through on my own. I don't want to put that on a kid, right? Like, I was watching a TED Talk recently. Sorry, I was watching a TikTok recently. I always get those confused. The information's still good, it's just vertical. That said, if you have childhood trauma you are still working through as an adult, you need to learn how to parent yourself as a grown-up. So I've been trying to do that in order to heal. I've been trying to parent myself. But I kind of feel like I got pregnant with me in high school. And I was not ready for this responsibility. And now I wake up every morning, totally overwhelmed, trying not to shake me. Like, okay, if I let you watch TikTok on my phone for 30 minutes, will you please stop crying? All my friends are like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I think I have colic. I kept me up all night. I love TikTok. You know what's so funny to me about TikTok? All these kids on TikTok who are like lip syncing and dancing and like pretending they're in a music video, right? We all did that growing up, didn't we? Yeah, like alone in your room in the mirror, hairbrush, of course. But if anyone had walked in on you doing it, you would have killed yourself, right? And these kids are online, like, I hope millions of people see this. It's like, you could benefit from some bullying, I think. Might have overcorrected a bit. But I do have a lot of friends who are getting married and having kids, and, they're condescending as hell. It's so funny how the same girls who used to wake up drunk on train tracks are now like, I don't know how you stay out past 10 p.m. Your lifestyle's really unhealthy. I'm like, I've seen you snort coke off a rusty bike rack. But you keep sniffing that baby's head like we all forgot. But my friends who have kids and are married, like, they complain about their jobs, and I do the same dismissive thing right back to them, where I'm like, well, yeah, but you're married, so you're fine. They're like, yeah, but I'm miserable 60 hours of the week. I'm like, yeah, but you have your dream dick, so you're fine. And it's not great. And I think part of it is that we're all turning 30. And 30 was this age in our heads where we're like, well, by 30, we'll have all our shit together, right? So that kept us going through our 20s. We're like, we're 25 and we're garbage, but in 5 years, we'll have it all figured out. And then you're like, I'm 27 and I'm just a piece of shit, but that I have 3 years to turn this around. And then you're like, okay, I'm 29, crunch time, bitch. And now that we're all 30, we're like, oh shit, our lives are not going exactly as we always pictured them. And so now there's this weird comparing that's going on, this weird tension. Like, I know that all of my friends both pity and envy me. Just like I know that I both pity and envy them, right? I know my friends look at me and go, yeah, I mean, I would probably focus on work if I was all alone. And I go, yeah, I'd probably have a bunch of kids if I had no talent. So we're all... And it's not healthy per se. But I do think it's good to focus on what is going right in your life. I think that that's gratitude. I think that that's important. And it has gotten me through a lot of weddings and baby showers to have my dream job. To sit in the back row like, yeah, whatever. Have your bullshit love party. Hope it works out. I'm still gonna have the coolest job of anybody you know. And that was true until somebody married an astronaut. And everybody's so impressed. I guess astronaut beats everything. They're like, you gotta admit, Taylor, that's the coolest job. And I'm like, oh, he's gotta wear a costume or he'll die? Fuck off. That's a dumb job. Now, if I can't breathe somewhere, I don't go there, Dan. That's just science. Dan hasn't even been to space, you guys. He just goes to work and practices space. That's his job. He goes in, they put him in a roller coaster ride. They're like, don't throw up. He's like, you got it, Captain. What a hero. I'm not. I'm running into obstacles I never thought I'd face. I got dumped by a polyamorous person. You ever been dumped by a polyamorous person? It sucks. It's like getting fired from a part-time job. They're like, you can't even work here Mondays and Tuesdays. Holy shit. I didn't think I was going to like dating somebody poly. She was poly. I was busy. But it actually ended up being the most honest, transparent, communicative relationship I'd ever been in. And I was totally in love with her. And she dumped me because I worked too much. And let me tell you something, Grand Rapids. When I started dating a polyamorous person, I did not think it was going to end because my lifestyle didn't work for them. I know some of you don't believe me. You're like, there's no way you liked being poly, Taylor. You are not cool. You reek of monogamy. I bet you masturbate to Bridgerton. And you know what? I don't. I have, but I don't. That joke's not going in the special. There's no way. No. That's way too vulnerable to put on Netflix. We'll not be doing that. Unless it helps the algorithm. We'll have to talk about it. If Netflix was like, if you liked Bridgerton. I don't think the dating app thing is for me, by the way. I don't think I can do it. Is anyone in here on dating apps? Okay. Has anyone in here never been on a dating app? Oh, I don't care for that. Wish I hadn't asked. The smugness of those woos. I hated every second of that. If you've never been on a dating app, let me tell you what it's like. Every dating app profile, you get 6 photos of what look like 6 different human beings. And then you have to go and sit at a coffee shop and wait for them. Like, come on, picture number 3. Come on, picture number 3. And then he gets there and you're like, God damn it, it's 4. But you can't just leave. You got to sit there for 45 minutes, nodding and smiling, knowing you're going to ghost him later. You feel creepy. You feel like Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. Just like, oh, he doesn't know he's dead yet. Dating is so awkward, especially dating apps. A dating app date is not a blind date, but it is a nearsighted one, you know? The first date's easy. You get dinner, drinks, that's basic. But then they're like, this was fun. We should hang out again. What should we do? And you're like, well, shit, I'm not a person with hobbies or interests. I'm basically just a stack of frightened possums in a trench coat right now, doing an impression of someone I saw on the street 8 years ago. So then you gotta go home and get online like a loser, like date ideas 2023. We could bowl. You ever drive past a bowling alley? Like, at least stay open. Second dates, that's how. We could bowl or mini golf. Is laser tag a real thing? You're just doing shit church youth groups do when they're trying not to touch each other. Just lace up those bowling shoes, my man. You're either gonna commit to me or Christ tonight. Can't finger these holes, you can finger those. Pick your ball. Pick your ball. I'm an introvert, and I think that's why dating's harder for me. Extroverts are better at dating because you like getting to know people. You're like into it for some reason. That's why I think you're better at casual sex. When you think about it, a one-night stand is really just meeting someone as hard as you possibly can. I've never been able to have casual sex as an introvert. I can't even relate to my male comic friends in green rooms when they're talking shop about road sex. They're like, yeah, I had sex with this girl and then kind of just lost interest after I came. I'm like, totally. That's how I feel after I poop in a Barnes & Noble. Right? Because it's like, I got what I came for. We can go. But those are my most fun friends to talk to. My friends who have casual sex regularly, I always want to hear their updates. I have a friend, she's on Tinder. I call her every Monday. I'm like, hey, how was your weekend? She goes, great. Remember that guy I told you about? He is so good at dirty talk, Taylor. I'm like, what's like good dirty talk, in your opinion? She goes, anytime I wasn't actively yearning for it, of course. Oh, good, some depression in the room, thank God. I did that joke in Sweden. They just stared at me. They were like, huh? Sad for no reason? But how? They didn't get it. A lot of this hour, Europe didn't get. They were like, God, we have healthcare. They give you God instead of healthcare? That doesn't seem like the same thing. If you have depression, you have a pretty complicated relationship with death. You sort of look at death like it's the Phantom of the Opera. Most of the time, you're like, oh, that's scary. But then sometimes you're like, I mean, that side of his face is kind of hot. Hear me out. I could live underground. I don't know. This section is sad. I've been trying to face my fear of death head on this past year. I wrote a will because a lot of my friends were getting married, and I was like, I want to sign a scary document. I learned so much. If you don't have a will, you got to write one with a professional. That panicked note you write on your phone during turbulence, that will not hold up in court. They taught me that. I thought for sure that was fine. Nope. Here's what I learned. I did not know this. If you die unexpectedly, your closest living relatives are your parents, not your siblings, which is what I thought because I'm dumb. So if you die unexpectedly, your parents will inherit everything you own, unless you disinherit them in writing like the petty bitch you are, right? And I know some of you are sitting there right now going, well, whatever. I don't have a good relationship with my parents, Taylor, but I don't really have anything for them to inherit. Do you have a TV? Do you think your shitty dad deserves an extra TV? You think your death should feel like winning the Price is Right for him? Fuck that. Call a lawyer. At 6. Okay, like 6:30. Do you have time to feel abandoned and worthless? Okay. 6:30 in the parking lot. It's a date. I love you so much. You're doing a great job at work. Bye. That's never happened to me once. Every feeling I have demands to be felt immediately. Every feeling I have demands its own parade. Every feeling I have just turns into that scene from Aladdin where he's pretending to be a prince. It's like, OMG, Taylor's hungry. This could get dicey. Needs a sandwich. Now she's a bitch. Take it from me. But I'm glad I've had this year to work on this stuff because I needed it. I think the biggest difference between having sex with men and women is when you're having sex with a woman, you're there the whole time. You know? Because you know how with a man you can kind of just like... Not in a traumatic way, just in like a, oh, I'm in the back seat on a road trip, forgot my headphones, let's look at clouds. Huh? I did. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Oh my God, yes. A big one. A huge, big, quiet, but big. It's just silent but deadly. I love those. Thank you so much. I've never faked an orgasm because I think our generation got enough participation trophies, but I don't judge you if you have to. We've all been there, right? When it's going too long. If you want to fake an orgasm, here's a little tip from me to you. Just hold your breath for as long as you can. Because then when you're like, it'll seem like you came when really you just came up for air. That's how you get rid of hiccups and Jeremy. With the guy she's dating. I was like, really? She goes, yeah, would you ever have a threesome? I was like, oh my God, no. I don't even want to hang out with 2 other people. I've never been in the middle seat on a flight fighting for an armrest, like, wish we were all naked. That would be cool. I don't even think I could date an extrovert again. I dated an extrovert once. We moved in together. The first week we lived together, he's like, hey, what if we had some people over? I was like, look, if you don't want to be with me, just say so. You want to have people over? Over what? My dead body? If you're an extrovert and you're in love with an introvert, you gotta understand, asking us to invite people over is like asking us to do anal. Watch our face change. Like, I'm sorry, is it your birthday? Seems like a big ask for a random Tuesday. I live alone now. It's incredible. I fall asleep in the middle of the bed like a boy king, just like, good night, Joffrey. It's fantastic. I eat all the food I buy. Every grocery I buy, it goes me or it goes bad. That's power, DC. Yeah. If I clog the toilet at home, I don't have to deal with it right away. That's freedom, DC. When I lived with a man I was attracted to, I was always like, no, please, toilet, don't tell him I'm a human woman. I beg of you. Take my dark secrets to your watery grave. Remember our bargain. Now I'm like, you loser, toilet. That's what lids are for. You want to see the sky. Do your job. I was so afraid of being single all throughout my 20s. I was terrified of jobs, so I got HR training. I've never had that before. There's no HR in stand-up comedy. It's the opposite, in fact. They're like, are you harassing people? Great job, start a podcast. It was fun, that HR training. I learned a lot. Did you know we're allowed to fuck people at work? Did you know that? Well, people from work, you gotta take them somewhere else. But I thought everyone at work was off limits romantically. Now, according to Jill from HR, she's like, no, you can date. You just have to tell us if you are. And I go, oh, because then you'll tell our like higher up bosses. And then she goes, no, you just have to tell us. And I was like, who are these sick little freaks in HR? who are like, no, you can fuck each other. You just have to tell us everything. Was it good? Do you have photos for the PowerPoint? That PowerPoint was fun. The one where they go through all the different scenarios, ask you, is this appropriate or inappropriate? Spoiler alert, they're all inappropriate. I didn't know that. I thought they were supposed to inspire conversation and debate. No, they're all a pretty clear thumbs down if you know what you're doing. I had my own private HR training, probably because they knew I was the weakest link on set. So they did it during my hair and makeup. So it was me, Deb, and Havana who did my hair and makeup for the show. Jill is going through all the different scenarios, right? She goes, all right, scenario number 1. Kyle tells Sharon on her birthday, doesn't matter how old you get, I would still be down. And he winks at her. Is that appropriate? And we were like, do you have a picture of Kyle? Is it the next slide? How tall is Kyle? What's he smell like? What's he working with? How old's Sharon? Is she ovulating? We don't have enough information to answer the prompts, Jill. My favorite thing about being on a network TV show is that they would bleep all the bad words and cut some of the more raunchy stuff, which means that my religious grandparents could watch the show and it wouldn't hurt their ears as much as my stand-up does. Not to say that my grandparents aren't supportive. They really are. I think that they're doing a really good job trying to understand where their liberal, agnostic grandkids are coming from. I can't stand it when people are too hard on their grandparents. If your grandparents are trying to understand you, you got to give them some grace if they mess up here and there terms-wise. When people are like, oh, well, my grandma cannot remember my pronouns. I'm like, does your grandma remember her address? Grandma's got bigger fish to fry. The light is coming. Also, do you know how old your grandma is? I don't. Mine's been 62 for 40 years. Also, you're taking more pictures of your grandparents than you ever have before, and they've got to know why, and that can't feel good. My grandparents are the best example I have in my life of Christianity done right. They're very loving, forgiving, non-judgmental people. But my siblings and I are all agnostic because we didn't grow up with that type of Christianity. We grew up in our scary Christian house. And when you grow up with something that hurts you as a kid, you don't really want it in your Barbie dream house as a grown-up, right? I also don't wear belts or use wooden spoons. That's not a coincidence. Oh, thank God. We were all lightly abused. Again, did that joke in Sweden, thought they were gonna call somebody. There's nothing worse than admitting to a room full of people that you got hit when they got tucked in at night. It is humiliating. No, I don't keep anything in my house that hurt me as a kid. No Bibles, no belts, no bridge to Terabithia. I'm hoping the author sees this and writes me a personalized apology. I do think that when you grow up in a scary religious environment, you spend a lot of your young adulthood untangling who you are from who they wanted you to be. Like, I just came out. I have a friend who said they knew Prodigal Son. And I go, oh, you know the story? And they're like, oh, no, I just think there was like a show or something. I've heard the term, right? If you don't know the story of the prodigal son, it's a story that Jesus teaches, tells in the Bible to teach a lesson, right? So in the story, there's a rich dad, and he's got 2 sons. And the older son does everything right, because he's the oldest. And the younger son is like, I want my money now. And the dad's like, okay, that's not how inheritance works. I'm fully alive, but here you go. So he gives the younger son his money. Then this piece of shit fucks right off. Did I mention I'm the oldest of 4? This piece of shit fucks right off. And how do they put it? Squanders his wealth on wild living, which is Bible for blows it all on Bitcoin and lap dances. He then has the audacity to come back years later, like, sorry, Dad, I lost all your money. I suck. Can I come back? And the older son was probably like, yeah, finally, finish him. And the dad goes, my baby's home. Oh my God, let's throw him a big party. I know all the oldest kids in here. We all have diarrhea right now. I know every oldest kid in here. Your asshole went all the way inside your body. You're so upset. Just remember, these are people from the Bible. They can't hurt you. They've been dead a long time, okay? We're almost done. So the older son is obviously pissed. He's like, Dad, what? I've done everything right my whole life, and you've never even thrown me a small party. Look it up. He says that. And the dad is like, yeah, you're great. Love you. But your brother, he was lost, and now he's found. So we celebrate. And if you ask a pastor what that story is about, they will tell you that it's about how you can go off and live in sin and lose your way spiritually, but you can always return to the Lord and he'll forgive you. And if you ask me what that story is about, I will tell you that it is about how Jesus was an only child. But because I grew up in church, I see Bible stories everywhere, right? Like, here's some fun ones. What about the 200 foreskin story? Do you know that one? Yeah? That's a deep cut. So, in the Bible, David wanted to marry Saul's daughter, and Saul's like, you can marry my daughter if you bring me back the foreskins of 100 of my enemies, which, like, whoa, Scorpio, am I right? Who has 100 enemies and is thinking about their foreskins? Like, someone was born in deep November. So Saul's like, get me 100 foreskins, then we'll talk. So David goes out, comes back with 200 foreskins, and that's where the phrase, if he wanted to, he would, ladies, comes from. Yeah. That's not from TikTok, that's from the Bible. What about Job? Have we heard of Job? Job? Got some Job heads in the house? Job was this guy in the Bible. He loved God so much. One day, God and Satan are talking. They don't really get into why they're talking, but, sometimes you call your ex and everyone's like, what are you doing, right? So God and Satan are kicking it for some reason. And Satan goes, hey, God, I noticed that Job loves you a lot. And God's like, yeah. And Satan's like, well, I bet he wouldn't love you as much if I fucked with him enough. And God's like, okay, I'm bored. Let's see what you got. So Satan goes out and he ruins Job's life. But Job never forsakes God. And that is what How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is based off of. Matthew McConaughey is Job. Kate Hudson is Satan. Now, does anyone think they have a weird sleep tip? So we need more gay prudes to stand up and go, I too am bisexual. I'm attracted to all of you, and I trust no one. I would, but I will not. It's also scary to say you're bisexual for the same reason it's scary to say you're suicidal. There's always going to be people who are like, if you don't go all the way, you just want attention. You know who likes that joke? Queer people. Queer people get that joke? Straight people are like, oh my God, there was so many sad words. Which is fair, you're right. No offense, straight guys. I have to say, I am so glad that straight men are not my only option anymore. That was bleak. That was tough. And it's not because you're bad people. You're just so hard to communicate with. I mean, and I tried. I've been to couples therapy with a lot of dudes. Never been married. That's embarrassing. You know how embarrassing it is to break up with someone you've been to couples therapy with? You just have to live the rest of your life with all this useless information about some dude's childhood. You're like, cool, guess I'll just go the rest of my days knowing what triggers Michael. That sucks. I also couldn't get on the same page with a lot of my boyfriends about our future. Like, I used to only want to adopt if I was going to have kids. And every straight guy I ever dated was like, no, it's going to look like me or I'll eat it. Every guy. Which, hey, I've never been a father. Maybe that's true, right? I had one boyfriend who said he would use a surrogate. He was open to that idea, which I do love the idea of a surrogate. What a power move to be like, can you just hold this for 9 months? I'm so busy. I'm getting a call. Don't eat fish. You breeze back in 9 months later, their guts are everywhere. You have a blowout. You're like, thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, you're glowing. You're brave. Money's on the nightstand. 5 stars. Bye. You're like, that was a lot. I'm going to do no contact delivery next time, I think. Yeah, no, you're at the right place. Just leave it on the porch, take a picture, I'll come get it when you're gone. No, you're at the right house. Look, if I was an extrovert, I would have had it myself. So. When I say say that I came out in the last couple of years, I just mean publicly, right? Like, I came out to friends earlier than that, but I don't think I did it right. I think I was too casual about it. I think I was supposed to do like an episode of Glee, and I just sort of mentioned it, like, oh, by the way, I think I'm going to date women now, too. And they were like, okay. Like I said, I was vegan or something. Like, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. You need iron, bitch. Like, they were not... They really accepted it once I had my first girlfriend. I started dating this girl who was so hot. I was like, oh my God, am I Pete Davidson? How tall am I? And when I started dating women, it was the closest I'd come to feeling religious in a long time, because my friends would complain about their boyfriends and husbands, and I was like, oh, have you heard the good news? You don't have to live like this. There's a better way. Then once I had a girlfriend, then my friends started coming to me with a lot of their questions. They started coming to me with their millennial regrets. Do we have any Gen Z in here tonight? Oh my God! Shut up, really? Okay, everyone be cool in front of my new friends. All right. Now, Gen Z, you won't really get this, because you guys are very good at exploring your identities and sexualities. You want to know who you are and what you're capable of. And what you have to understand about us millennials is we wake up every day and look in the mirror like, shh. Don't feel joy outside. You'll upset Mama and Papa. Just wait. Be free in death. Wait. Those are our morning affirmations. So we're dealing with a lot. We're repressing a lot. So I had a lot of female friends in their 30s and 40s who were like, I wish I had dated women, but, you know, they ended up with a man and they were happy, but they're like, I wish I had done that. And so they were asking me a lot of personal questions, like, is it better having sex with women? And I was like, do you really want me to tell you? Because you said you were pretty locked in with that guy. And they're like, no, like, is it really different? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, how? So here's what I said. Is there anyone in here who grew up religious but is not religious anymore? You're at the right show. All right, of those people, who saved people? Who spread the good news while they were religious? Ooh, bit of a drop off there. That's tough. A lot of us didn't do the homework. You saved people while you're religious, but you're not religious anymore? Okay. Do you ever feel... Serious question. Do you ever feel like maybe you should, like, call those people? Just a courtesy call. Like, hey, remember when I told you about forever? I don't know. What if those people get up to heaven and they're like, look, your sponsor's not in there, so we didn't know you were coming. I don't know. Are you sure? Maybe they Holy Ghosted you. We're sorry. For real, though, you got to go to hell. We're sorry about that. I never saved anybody at all. I was talking to someone who grew up Mormon. I was like, well, you guys were really saving people. And he was like, oh yeah, baptism for the dead. You guys know what that is? I didn't know. Apparently, in Mormonism, sometimes they will save people after they've died, which really takes the pressure off of saving live people, doesn't it? When you can just go, hey, do you believe in God? And they're like, no. And you're like, that's okay. We'll wait. And then as soon as they're dead, you're like, bibbity-boppity Mormon. This is how you get a soul to heaven, right? Like you're trying to get poop smell out of your hinge date's bathroom. If you're not laughing, you're married, and fuck you, this joke's not for you. Enjoy shitting with the door open. Some of us have to carry matches everywhere. In that joke that I have trouble sleeping, DC, please, for the love of God, do not DM me articles after this show. I know you mean well, but I promise you I've read every sleep article out there. 3 ways how to sleep better. It is the same recycled tips over and over and over. Get a light lavender mist to spray on the cold side of your pillow at twilight. What am I, a witch? Make sure it's really dark and quiet in your room at night. Oh my God, it's supposed to be dark? I'm such a dumb bitch. I've been sleeping under a disco ball because vibes. I didn't know. Okay, dark, quiet, check. Fixed! Why not leave your cell phone in a different room at night? Why don't you put your baby outside? This is not to say that I'm against sleep advice. I'm just jaded, you know? I think I feel the way about sleep tips the way a lot of men feel about porn, where I'm like, no, I've seen all the basic stuff. Send me something weird. Now I'm gonna ask this question, and let me preface this by saying it's totally okay if nobody has an answer. I ask every audience every night, it's nothing weird. If you think that you have a weird sleep tip that I've never heard of, I've read every article, I've listened to every podcast, I've seen a lot of TikToks, I ask this question to every audience every night of this tour. If you think you have a weird sleep tip that I have never ever heard of, I would love for you to raise your hand and tell me what that is. That being said, if anybody raises their hand and goes, have you tried the Calm meditation app? I will have you removed. It's okay if no one has one. Does anyone have a weird sleep tip? Oh, we got a confident one right here. What have you got? Masturbate? Bitch, please. You think I haven't tried masturbating? I don't go to sleep, I come to sleep. Next. All right. What else we got? Thanks for playing. All right, what have we got? There's two things. Oh. And I do them in order. Okay. I have to do a handstand against the wall? Okay, yoga. No. This sounds like I need to be hotter for this. I can't. All right. I just want to hear the end. So you do a handstand against the wall. Yeah. Just for a couple seconds. Okay. Yeah, just easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. This is how hot people talk. They're like, just do a handstand for 10 seconds. This is no big deal. You're like, some of us are top heavy. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. And then you sleep upside down. Okay, I haven't heard the handstand part, but I have heard sleep upside down because it changes the bed. Yeah. It confuses your body. Yeah, confuse yourself to sleep. Okay, that's one. I've half heard that one. Okay, so, we'll half give it to you. Anybody else think they have a weird one? Like, really weird? It's okay if nobody does. I'm just curious. Okay, who said woo? All right, do it. What do you got?
Listen to him talk.
Listen to who? Listen to the guy you're with talk? Are you trying to get left? Or are you trying to offload your partner right now? Like, this one's available if he just talks and talks and talks. You fall asleep eventually. This bit right here. Wow, okay. That was fun. We all stepped in a divorce. Wasn't that a good time? That's the first time that's happened when I asked that question. Every night of the tour, never gotten one of those. I can take this boring piece of shit home. All right, this is the last one. What do you got?
Listen to someone's random phone call in the other room. I've listened to my mom have a conversation with my grandma.
You eavesdrop on somebody's phone conversation from the other room? You've listened to your mom talk to your grandma? Did you miss the whole part where I said, I am alone? At least the last girl offered me someone.